So you'll see that. They'll pop up. I just click live. So anything you say can and will be used against you from this point forward.
Well, I've been ready for that since I was 1 year old.
Right on. Let's see here. Nice guitar back there.
Yeah, that's going to be part of my story as soon as we go live. Oh, we're on live now?
Yeah, we'll just give him some time to get in though. Let me put, I wonder what's going on with this damn thing. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's showing your name now. There we go. Yeah, let's give it another minute. Today's Showcase Sunday, so we're going to do 2 shows on our old social media platforms. One here with our brother Randy, and another one in about 5 hours with Higher Vibrations and Elsa Dillon. And then we'll go back to tomorrow, broadcasting from the network. If you haven't been to the network, we've made some changes, so let me show you around. I don't know if you've seen this lately, but so just this month we're coming out with an app. It's going to be free to the public. It'll get you to this public page, and instead of the Soulspeaks video logo, it'll be a constant stream of excerpts from the shows, the original programming that we have at Soulspeaks Network. And that will be all these people, all these new shows, the shows I do, the music, the Soul Jams. And then here's a list of all the shows. They're starting to develop an archive. And we've got more shows coming. So if anybody has sent an email regarding that, just know that I'll get to it as soon as I can get to it. But I will definitely get to all of them. Okay, we got 17 people in the house, and we've been 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Okay, so let's kill the music. It's kind of a hazy Sunday morning. We got Randy, Mahatma Brown's in the house. SOULSPEAKS 5D. It's been a while since we got together.
Here.
What's that?
It's hot as heck here.
Where you? Oh yeah, you're in that. Well, I'm in Houston. It's hot here too. Yeah, man. I know you're tapped in. There's man. I don't know what this Lionsgate that just passed. I mean, I know some people say that ask the numbers and all that stuff doesn't mean anything or whatever, but I'm not even counting it because of that. I'm just saying it feels like something came through and cleaned out our closets, and it kind of left yesterday. That's what it felt like to me. Today feels like a I don't know, feels like a new year or something. How's it been for you these past few days? You said that you just discovered you've been under the spell of a type of programming for 40 years and you just figured it out. That's what Ascension's all about, isn't it?
Well, I knew that. I always thought it was persecution from everybody. But it's not from everybody. It's just certain people suffering with narcissism, narcissistic, emotional, mental issues, and stuff like that. They rub it off on whoever they can. It's like they're using it like for scapegoats.
Yeah.
It's like, and I've wondered why I can never succeed with anything all my life, because I felt so down on myself. And now I understand where all the energy was coming from. I mean, people talk about demons and demonology, but I know it wasn't demons and demonology. It had to be something more logical than that. That's all I want to say.
Well, I think it's a great subject. Our sister, oh my God, why can't I remember her last name right now? Yolanda, hang on. Yolanda Marie. She channels the Arcturians, and she's lit. And she puts up a video like once a week. And she put up a video speaking to this exactly what you're talking about. she's speaking exactly about the programming of narcissism. So I thought it was a fantastic article or video that she did. And here's the whole thing. The entire realm is a fucking narcissist. The patriarch is a narcissist. The media is a narcissist. The government's a narcissist. The religions are narcissists. And we're all been bred in this realm 100% soul empathic, thrown into this mind fuck that the only way to get by is to become an irrational communicator with the narcissist frequency that the realm is. So I think the reason I feel like it's important is because it's passing. In other words, just like you said, it doesn't matter if you figured it out about someone else or yourself, it's all the same thing. So if we figured out how this realm has been set up, which is to make us ultimately feel like we're less than we are, which is what you just said, and what we've all had to contend with, because we've had to figure out that we are whole, we are holy, we are more than good enough, we are not limited, we're not small, and that's really what this, I think, is representing, is the discovery that, hey, this has been here, it's not us, but we can't deny it, you know what I mean?
We're all guilty.
Yeah, you could say it that way. You could say it that way. Or you could say nobody's guilty because we were all subjected to the same thing. As long as we feel like somebody as long as we feel like somebody is a victimizer, a perpetrator, and we're not that energy, then we got work to do,
Well, that's one thing to learn with dealing with a narcissist. I started becoming that too.
Of course.
And then I realized, as I studied it for a while, I mean, there's on YouTube, there's dozens and dozens of posts about it now. A lot of things are coming out in the open now. All the negations in this world is coming out in the open on the internet, and everybody's starting to see it. And I think that's a process of this planet being shifted to its proper order of things, And you got to realize it's there. I've been watching videos of poverty in the mountains and Texas and California, homelessness on the streets and all the drug addicts and everything. Everything's just coming out heavy duty right now. It's really bringing me down, really. But I think it's something that the planet's going to have to deal with right now. I mean, you're talking about war too. All that's coming out. I mean, it's the last stride of humanity. To realize how deep they dove into this. Like you say. And it's time to wake up and come up out of it, all of us together. It's only we have to do it together, all of us. The whole what do you call it? The mass ascension has to do it.
Yeah.
For us, because those who individually ascend don't have to go. We no longer have to do what we do to battle ourselves through all of it,
Right.
And that's the reason I keep telling people I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that glorious day.
Doing these shows over the years, meeting a lot of people that were aware a long time ago, like you. People come on the show that have been aware since the 60s. And a lot of people come on the show regardless of when, and they've been waiting. But I think what's really happened here with this Lionsgate, with this whole year, where it's come to today, is really you're representing that, because you're walking in the door and going, I just figured this out. Even though you were aware of this time to come all these years, like many people, you still were subject to the human condition. We've all been subject to the human condition. And that's the whole rub. The whole rub is to admit, I am a fucking human being, and I have gone through these series of incarnations, certainly this one, and I forgot who I was. I was subjected to the programming. I was subjected to the narcissistic patriarchal programming. And like you just said, which is brilliant, you have to become one to figure out, you know what I mean? It's like you have to become, you can't be above it. You can't be below it. You know, it's like you said, we all come out together, and I think something huge has happened. I think giant pieces of humble pie are being served.
Some of
From
us are coming in from the head, some of us come from the feet. And the
mm,
people come from the feet are going up this way towards us, and the ones that coming down from the head are going this way. We're meeting, and we got to
mm,
help each other. You know,
yeah, true that, no doubt. And then this whole thing with I don't know, it's like everything. Like I've noticed this in the past couple of weeks, a lot of shade being thrown at people, a lot of shade being thrown, a lot of criticisms of groups and accusations of false light, and that's a fucking narcissist. Okay, I'm a narcissist. You're a narcissist. Every time we project on somebody, that is a perpetration. That is aggression. This is where we come to our thoughts, words, and actions. So if we look at something and say it's bad or it's lesser, or even if it's better, and you feel like you're inferior, we're still affected by this human condition. So it's time to
well,
pony up. It's time to pony up, man. It's
we've
time to
been affected by a lot of human conditions, but I don't want to go backwards and look at it all anymore. That's basically. I think this is my last recognition of
your
these
last
things.
life. Just your last life here on Earth.
No, my last temptation on these
Oh,
negations that man created on them. I mean, this is the last battle for me. No, I'm not saying I'm going to leave the planet right now. What I'm trying to say, because I don't want to look back at, like, let me use an example. I was raised a Baptist. I don't want to look back at that, where I once was and all that teaching and stuff. I got rid of all of that. I don't want that no more. I don't even want the roots of it anymore. I'm going to leave the roots of it. I'm going to leave the roots of everything that I once was, because I'm not that anymore.
yeah.
I, I am now, I mean, I'm working on, now I started a little website called Light Speaks, the
Light
12 Rays.
speaks.
Yeah. I
Light.
took that from you, like, so speaks.
Oh, yeah. Light speaks. That's cool.
Light
We're
speaks, living the 12 rays, okay?
the 12 rays. Yeah.
Right. And, but there's more to it than that. That's just like that. But I know your other brother, the doctor, uh, he's, he's bringing out the I am presence type thing.
Oh, Doctor Joe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Doctor. J-
I started learning that from Moses. you know, I am. Moses was the burning bush. There wasn't no little burning bush out there. Moses was the burning bush, and he found out he was the I am presence.
yeah.
So he come up all this information inside himself. He found himself, and he knew who he was and what he was. And here he comes down trying to tell the people in the world about it. He couldn't do it. They wanted a temple. They wanted something to worship. They wanted a religion. And he said, "Don't you know who you are?" I mean, it's the I am presence. But reaching one's I am presence, you can have the knowledge of it, but you actually got to start living it. When I'm talking about presence now. It's all about presence now, bro. To me, it ain't like I don't use dimensions anymore, those kind of measurements anymore. I use light presence.
Right.
Light presence. How much are you glowing today? And you can flex up and down every day. It's like what level of a light, a vibrating light, are you at? Like you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Then
I'm totally with you.
time presence, like how much light are you shining right now? Where are we shining right now? It's our presence. We're presenting ourselves to the world. I mean, how pure do you want to bring that light to people? You want to keep talking about your past and all the light levels of that, which this is cool. That's how we're learning right now, but we're going to get over that soon.
Yeah.
We won't need to talk about that anymore. And the I am presence. That's what I want to present myself as light and nothing but light. You know.
Right on.
And then what's beyond the I am is the singular heart. the once we find out that we are the I am, and who and what we are, we become a singular heart
Yeah.
source,
Yeah.
and there's no duality there. It's not. It's just a single heart. But we each are our own single heart, just like we're each individual soul. We all are a singularity, and it's a co-op there too. But it's like going back to it. Then once we go back to it, we start all over again.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's you know what I feel like that like the how do you say it? Like it's coming to an end. So we're at a level of awareness now that we can kind of like maximize the potential of the time between now and when it recycles again. That's how I feel. I feel like we're here to do superhuman things in from the human
Yeah,
you know,
but, yeah, but
perception.
everybody's doing it according to their level of it. I mean, it's like according to their personality. I left it out. It's the personality that wants to be this. It's the personality that wants to be the personality of life. And that
Yeah.
personality, each personality is risen in different circumstances and levels of the past. And every personality is representing. It's like I was watching this video earlier this morning about the guy talking about aliens and all that. That's just his personality. There's no really real reality to that other than his personality expressing that point of light in his life. You
Right.
know, it, uh, people talk about hell, dying and going to hell. I mean, what kind of light expression is that?
I'm going to hell.
Yeah, you're going to hell, and they're telling the story. They
Well,
remember first
according
time his
to
mother was in a cage in a old dark cage, and wheels on it, and a horse caught pulling it.
man,
She was
I remember being in Montauk. I remember being in Montauk in these cages and when they were like doing the hybridization and all that crazy.
but you
It's Dolores Cannon. I mean, like she says that they call this hell because it's so extreme and hard, and because we hurt each other. Those are her exact words.
that's see, it's where your personality is at. It's what you've been taught. We've been taught that there are these places that exist, and but it's not. I mean, there's a teaching Jesus said that hell, beware of men's teachings, for they'll cast you into their hell.
Well, and that's another thing too. All these words attributed to Jesus.
Well,
The religions that attributed to Jesus. That's none of his stuff. That's part of the extraction of like what you're talking about is all the lies and the bullshit.
right.
I mean, I'm convinced that we had a collective planet-wide memory swipe at least in the last 120 years.
Yeah,
There's
but
two.
we're doing it. We're doing it together. It's
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's basically what I'm saying. No man can be an island. It's like
Right.
we got to do this together, and we are. But it's we're doing it in small pockets now, but it's going to get huge. I mean, you're
Yeah.
doing that, and I mean, I'm going to call you our new oversoul pretty soon.
The new
But
what?
probably way before you, our new oversoul. I think oversoul. My woman says this planet's oversoul right now, and I think he's training you, and I think he's going to prepare you to take over if you so desire.
Well, no, but you know what I do? I hear what you're saying. You know what I feel is happening is there are these arcs that are energetically birthed and developing around the Earth, and it just isn't something we can see by the old lenses. You see things, and other people are starting to see things, but yeah, there's something. And when I say we're here to do supernatural stuff, I don't mean like I really don't mean. I get what you're saying about the personality. I see it as like this. I see it like the source split up into all these fractals to forget itself and to experience. And now it's becoming conscious that it's actually like spirit flesh, like we're in this body. Now what can we do with it? You know, like I'm serious. I feel like we're this we're on the very precipice of doing some of the things that we know we can do, like the dematerialization and rematerialization, time travel, uh, bending time and space, popping into parallel lives. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. Stuff that would make like remote viewing look like nothing. It's just a normal thing, right?
Well, see, that's all still according to the personality
Mm.
of every level. If we talk about dimensions and everybody, the personality is into that. Okay, personality is into dimensional measurements of the universe and the galaxies, everything. It's like so. The personality is in that. But the point is, so you're into it. It's
Uh-huh.
fun, but don't conclude it. Don't
Right.
ever conclude anything that you're presenting in your light at your certain speed of light, your vibration of light. Time and space is slowed down vibration of light. And that's where you get time and space. It goes to a still almost so we can see each other because when light starts speeding up, it becomes invisible. If only when the vibrations of the sun shine through the earth does it vibrate into living existence. And other than that, you stare at it, you go blind, you go invisible too. but
Um, let's talk about the 12 rays uh, because I know, like myself and a number of other people, when they look at the way that their intel came in, like I was shown there was 12. Like with the first breath, there was 12. You could call them rays, you could call them whatever you want to call them. And I have a feeling that's what you're referring to in terms of the 12 rays. Is that what you're referring to? Like the 12
well,
base elements of this realm or this universe?
everything. I mean, it's been in religion, everything. You talk about 12 gates, 12 disciples, 12 tribes, 12 this. And if you read in the book of Revelation, it talks about the 12 gates and the disciples' names up in the 12 gates. And you go into the center, and your channel is in the center, and you go up through your channel to your source. It's right there in the book, in the Bible. The Bible's an amazing book. But people just ain't reading it correctly. That's all I got
Yeah.
to say. I mean, it's right there. Talk about all your 12 rays and all your everything. And you go inside and then you ascend up to your channel. I mean, it's amazing. That's why I started tapping into that, but years ago. But as far as the 12 rays, if we look at it physically in the physical sun, you can see the rays invisibly, but when it hits there, like I said, it turns into pink, blue,
Mm.
yellow, green, and all those rays have a living, active intelligence that the sun gave it to do certain things. Each ray has a principle. I'm gonna use an example. I mean, we're red, like I read. That's what in my in my conclusion right now. I mean, I'm open for other expansions, but it's the first ray of light because it comes from the deepest thickness, what we call black. But that black has got all the colors in it. It's just
Right. Right.
a big mass of darkness. But the first ray be develops from that to create creation is red. Okay, that's the first red color you're going to see is the fire. The fire starts burning and the ferments start heating up. And then after that comes blue and pink. Blue and pink is the ray of what first what red does is give a new beginning, a new creation, a melting and everything, and restarting everything, and pushing everything out. I can't say it in the right words because I haven't studied it that deeply yet. But the first ray's going to get everything going.
Right.
It charges everything. It charges sexual activities. It just
Well,
says a
I
lot.
mean, and there would be no mistake that our lowest chakra, the root is red. That makes
Well,
sense.
it's black. The root. The root is the black. I mean, how many? When we say we have 50 or 20,000 lifetimes or 5,000 lifetimes, you probably were a meaty before you became a
Oh
earth.
yeah, I was a rock. I was a mountain. I remember. I was a piece of dirt. I was no, but I'm just saying, like in the with the chakra system, you know, it makes sense to me what you're saying because if the red's how it starts from the black, we've been finding ourselves, and the chakra that was the last one to get cleaned up was the red chakra, was the root chakra. You know, that's the one that we're all the creative life force, the sexual power. You know, that was
Yeah,
all fucked up because of the sexual distortion.
yeah. A lot of people have a lot of opinions on the sex, on the chakra system, the colors of it, and all that. And even the rays, they got to me, they got sometimes they put them in incorrect order, but
Yeah.
of creation because the next one was blue and pink. The reason because I read the hardest part of it is going to be blue first comes out, and then you're going to have the pink, and that's the mixture of the second ray, and that's the ray that Christ consciousness
The pink,
material.
the pink. So there's the pink, a
And
mixture.
blue,
Okay.
pink and blue is the second ray together. It's
Yeah.
where it's
Yeah.
it's love, wisdom, and recently compassion's been added to it.
So
And
that's been the blue and the pink has been huge in the last couple of years. That
it's always been huge.
you
All of
know.
them have been huge.
But I mean, it's really showed itself in the last couple of years. The
Oh yeah,
like let me see here. Let me just like
I've been trying to do that.
like let's see if what I got here. Let's try this one. Like this is one of it. Look, like that pink, that like back here, that pink and the blues, like in the clouds and stuff that have been showing up, has been crazy over the last couple of
That's,
years.
that's how I studied to call it rays too, is in nature.
Uh huh.
Okay, because like the third ray is yellow. If you see, I used to be a printer, and I used to mix inks, and we mix inks to get certain colors, and out of red, blue, and pink, you're going to get yellow. But see, it's also a mixture with the light coming in, the translucent light coming in, and more light you give something that shifts it too, also. And the fourth ray, yellow is intellect. There's more to it than I can say right now, but I'm going to try to cut all this short. And the fourth ray is green, which is harmony with conflict. You got to overcome the conflict with harmony, so you got to bring the harmony through the green. And okay, and you can see this in nature. Look at the sky; it's blue. Look at the ground; it's green. The trees are green. Oh, what do you got? You got wind, harmony, conflict. I mean, it's all right there. It's also everything I ever look at in nature is teach me more than anything in this planet and inside myself about light. Light is all there is to everything. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
once you recognize that you are the light being and that's all there is to you, you're going to understand yourself more than ever.
Yeah.
You know, you are the light being. Everything comes from that. And you created everything about yourself, either from the feet or from the head. You just created everything about yourself. So don't ever conclude anything. Just experience it till you learn your lesson through it, and then move on to your next. When you're ready, well, actually, it'll come. Like just this, the new singular attitude just came to me. That singular heart,
Uh huh.
the I am presence. I just go, well, man, the singular heart, the cosmic heart, because Maitreya is sitting in a cosmic heart position now. He was the Christic light for this planet. Maitreya was. When I mean that, he was the representative as the Christic light for this planet.
Who is that?
Christ Maitreya. He was also Krishna.
Okay. Okay. I got you.
And Christ Maitreya was also who Jesus was talking to inside his head.
Are you
Okay,
talking about? Are you talking about Hermes Trismegistus, Thoth? Is that what you're talking about? Who was Krishna? I mean, I know who Krishna was, but who were you
Another
saying?
incarnation of Maitreya.
Okay,
Krishna was of the the Indian religion.
right, right,
The
right, right,
blue god.
right.
Yeah, there's Shiva, but that's another god they have. They have a lot of gods there. Anyways, uh, Maitreya entered into the body of Jesus the last 4 years of his life.
And
Okay,
okay, and who is Maitreya? Was Maitreya also in the body of Krishna?
he was the planetary representative for this planet.
Okay.
He's no longer somebody took his place. His name is Kathumi, uh, uh, and we all have seats that we're going to fulfill, positions that we're going to fulfill, either for this planet or for other planets. The more we integrate our light self, we'll take certain seats or positions if we so desire with our personalities. Um, Christ, Maitreya, was there in Jesus' body for the last 4 years of his life, and that's the reason he said to Peter, "So Peter, who do you say I am?" Peter goes, "Well, you're the Christ." He said, "Nobody showed you that except for your Father light." But see, Peter came in from the head. He was the teacher to Jesus, actually, in the spiritual realm.
Hmm.
He was he's Brian Great. Brian Grayton is the incarnation in this lifetime. And I mentioned this to you before, and he is the energy of Peter. It's all about energy. We're all parts of that. We're all parts of each other. So I'm part of Jesus. You're part of Jesus. We're all parts of each other. We're all representatives of everything that
Hmm.
we allow our personality to present. I mean, I was John the Baptist once time walking through the city, just telling everybody to repent. Like John the Baptist. You're bad this and that. Wow. But my personality was sure into it. My personality is into being like Christ-like, be Jesus-like. I mean, he just broke my heart. Jesus just broke my heart, man. I mean, over and over and over. Man, just I fell down on my knees. Everybody's looking for repentance. I fell down on my knees. I said, I want to be like Jesus. And then I wanted to be like Christ. Now I met some beings in my ascensions. I want to be like them. My personality's attracted to them, and I just want to be like them. They're my elders. It's like, dang. But I'm kind of over that. They're kind of looking up to me right now. Because when you're on Earth, you're doing greater things
Yeah.
from a physical level. You're creating the new heavens. You're creating everything from here.
Yeah.
Not just on this planet, but all planets. But this is the main planet actually right now because we're doing things that we went so deep into the animalistic and to the black that no other planet did.
Yeah.
I know of. Can you tell me? I don't want to conclude anything, but man, we dove pretty deep into this animal stuff. I mean, we can't get out of it. People
Well, we're
still and
yeah.
molested.
No, you're
So
right. You're right. I mean, everyone. I say everyone, but you look at Franco. You look at Dolores Cannon, Edgar Casey. You can go on and on and on. People that have come on this show. This has been the toughest realm ever. And we did get lost, but we're coming out of it now. Like right now, we're coming out of it. Right now. And what you're saying is really what's available, and that is to what? How did you say that? But like to kind of like utilize our personality to accentuate the aspects that we have.
right,
I
it's
mean,
coming down this way. The chakra system is coming down this way from up there, from source level, and we're coming down this way into here, and then these lower chakras are moving up. You see, your appetite's now love and light from
mm,
here. Even though this chakra still functions to eat, but now your appetite's more up here. You don't care about struggling for survival for food for your stomach. You care more about this.
right,
And then when you go up to here, you care more about this. Your love moves up here, and your love moves, and then you're bringing all that down to be here. First, you got to bring it all ascend. That's what ascension is all about. To go up there so you can bring it back down here. That's
Mm.
what ascension's all about. That's what he said. Jesus didn't do his ascension. Actually, he came back in his next lifetime and did his ascension as a Greek man. He did. As Maitreya did the ascension for him and used his body, and that's how Jesus learned how to do it. He didn't do his ascension until his next lifetime. His soul, as Jesus, didn't do that. His personality as Jesus. Jesus was a tremendous personality, and that personality had to come in as a man, like Jesus did, to bring in the Christ consciousness. It was all prefixed. Mary and all of them were parts of that. They all even before they were born, they already planned this.
Right.
And
Just like
so
we did. Just like we did.
right. And we're all doing it. We're all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing. There's no difference. So I'm treating no other gods before me because I am my own God.
That's right.
I'm creating my own God self. I mean, you create your own God self, and you put limitations on your God self. It's fine, but always stay open. Always
Yeah.
stay open to
You
your.
have to. You have to. You have to stay open. That's the only way to be open 360 degrees all the way around. There's no other way. And I think that's what like what you started talking about when we first started the show. Like we were talking about this human awareness that you just came into. This is what we're all coming to. We're all coming to this point, going, "Oh my God!" It's like the tarot cards, right? Like I don't know that much about tarot cards, but I know the fool card, or whatever it is, the fool is the most powerful card. I got this about 2 weeks ago. My soul said, the fool is the wise one. The one who knows he's a fool is the wisest one, because we all got fooled, and we all spend our time trying to say, "Oh no, I'm fixed," and "No, I get that, and I understand that, and I learned that."
Shut up, bro, because I know tarot cards has its purpose. I mean, it was created by magic people. The thing is, it's still psychic world.
Mm.
It's the personality coming from the psychic world. And just like old religions, you got to come from that. And tarot cards is part of all that stuff too. And the only way you got to rise above that psychic. People got to understand what the difference is between the psychic world and the spiritual world. I'm telling you. And I mean, your personality is coming up from that, and eventually it's going to go into the spiritual realm, and you can start realizing that all this stuff is really psychic. I mean, it's really psyching you out to be less than what you really are.
Hmm.
Though it's helping you at a certain rate of light, because where you're coming from, so maybe some people might need that. I mean, I was watching a story yesterday about this woman who's hard in all her life. I think Mary Magdalene's working with her right now, and she she got out of it somehow over out in Las Vegas, and she got out of it. But she's using Jesus to do it.
Got out
So
of what?
she's using the old principles of Jesus to get out of it. So tarot cards can do the same thing at a certain level of light speed. But she used the teachings of Jesus from what his personality was 2,000 years ago to get out of that. And she did, and now she's going to try and help everybody else. She got remarried.
What'd she get out? What'd she get out of?
She was a pretty heavy-duty harlot in Las Vegas.
Oh, I got you. Okay,
She's about 4,000 men, she said.
Jesus.
and her husband.
No judgment.
He married her. He accepts her, and she found her life through Jesus. She says, and she wants to help all these other women do the same thing.
Man, we're going to have a little road show. Maybe we'll go to Florida. Because we got the Soldier Fest in December in Houston. We're going to go to Corpus Christi this next weekend, and then Sedona, 2 shows in September, another show in LA in October, and probably 1 or 2 more in November. But these gatherings that we've been doing on the road for a few years, when we do them, one of the coolest things is during the show, we'll ask people, do you want to come up and, like sing a song or testify, right? That's really what ends up happening. And it's amazing to hear these stories like you're talking about. Like I remember this one lady, we were in Florida, we were in Tampa in 2019, and this lady came up, and she was about 33 years old, and she says, I was a prostitute and a meth and heroin addict for 12 years.
Right.
Dude, she just started like, and she goes, I've never said this. I want to say it now. There's like 50 people there. She just started spilling her guts. And then she pointed to this guy. She was a Hispanic lady. She points to this, her boyfriend who was, these labels are so stupid. He was African American. So that culturally, they were different, which was even better, because then she points at him and says, and this man here accepted me, like this guy that you're talking about with this lady. And then he came up and he tells his story, and then somebody else comes up and tells their story. That's what it's about, man. This transformation, like you said, you could use any variety of things to pull, but ultimately it's ourselves that does it, right?
Right.
Man, it's just amazing where we're at. It's absolutely fucking amazing what we've come into, the awareness that we're coming into as groups where two or more gather.
Right.
Like everybody has relevance and everybody has wisdom. It's crazy. It's beautiful.
It's their light presence. How much light do you want to shine? How much light do you want to bring in? Get ready, because it's going to get brighter, bro. I'll tell you, get ready. It's going to get brighter and brighter and brighter, and we're gonna just go illuminate each other.
Yeah.
Well, right now we're just getting excited that we're confessing. It's like confessing to Jesus all over again, but in a light source.
Exactly. And that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like yeah, there's something about witnessing and somebody using the throat chakra or the voice to own up to things, I guess is how you'd put it. Like there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. There's nothing to hide. It's just we all jumped into this crazy dark abyss because we knew who we were before we came, and now we're finding out who we are while we're here.
Before, man, we used to silently confess our sins to Jesus. Now we're opening we're all Jesus now.
Yeah.
We're all becoming the Master Jesus, and we're all confessing out loud to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's different ways to look at it, man. I mean, we're not. No one. I mean, you used to have the Catholic priest, but I was never raised Catholicism. I mean, but it's all Catholicism. Every religion is Catholicism because that was what all religion stems from.
That's well, yeah. I mean, once it was formed, Constantine.
Yeah, it's formed. Everybody kept breaking away from the Catholic Church, and it kept spreading out that thing.
But there were a lot of religious sects before the Roman Empire.
Well, I know, but those were more like,
like the Essenes.
Mary Magdalene, Thomas, and other disciples went to Spain. Somebody asked me, was it France? Now I can't remember now if it was Spain or France, but I'm pretty sure it's Spain because the story goes that they started their church in Spain, and the Catholic Church didn't like it, so they raided them, tried to break it up, Yeah. And the story goes, and after that, they started wearing the dress of a woman. Started wearing wrong dresses like women.
That's the whole.
The Mary Magdalene, they were like cursed with that or something.
Yeah, that's that whole Templar Cathar thing. We have an amazing history. We have an absolutely amazing history, and we're really only talking about like the last 6,000 to 12,000 years. You know how many civilizations have been on this earth? I wouldn't even want to guess. There have to be thousands. Thousands and thousands and thousands.
Well, what about the infinite amounts of soul?
Right?
And we're calling them aliens. Jeez, how are we going to get together with them if we keep calling them aliens?
We're all aliens.
Wait,
I want to go to Antarctica, man. I want to go to inner Earth and see the family.
the inner Earth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything, I guess, in a way is a metaphor.
But about that too, off of Spain. There's a lot of stuff that took place in Spain. The Atlanteans all that. When it all fell, went underground, and they're still down there in the sea. But they've been recently released because of what we're doing. We're advancing ourselves, so we don't want to bring the same mistakes that they did.
No.
Back
Well,
in.
they that were we.
Yeah.
They that is we.
I don't know. We could have been, could not been. I don't know. You have to find that out for your own inner connection.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people talk about, oh, I want to go back to Atlantis and everything was great there and all these other, but we were there and we screwed it up. So now this is the time that we straighten it all out. We straighten it out for every single part of us, right? I mean, like you said, this is the center. This planet is where it all comes from, and we're creating far beyond what we could think of. Like just meeting with my soul, even in the last month, I know that there are universes being created by our efforts here. Certainly the potential's there. I mean, we don't realize it seems so dim. Yeah.
I started my own universe. I mean, galaxy one time with a friend of mine. We sat on the side of a mountain. He lived out west in Seattle, and I lived in Florida. And we met each other telepathically up there on the mountain in Colorado, and we sat there and talked with each other for a while. And we seen each other. It's more of a telepathic. It was telepathic communication, but we actually sent aspects of ourselves to see each other on this mountain. And he's the one that introduced me to the Mahatma, and he's a wonderful being. I miss him a lot. But anyways, I said, brother, I think I'm building the galaxy up there. I think we could get back to it. And he goes, well, watch out for the boogeyman.
The boogeyman.
I don't know what he meant by that, but it is a gray matter, dark place. I mean, when you're building a galaxy, it's like when you get started in it, it's like
I remember.
Somebody else took over because I'm not doing it anymore.
I remember when this planet was just goo. I remember the way it smells. It was like a pinkish, grayish goo. Primordial fluid. I remember it very well. I remember the smell very well. And I don't know, man. Earth's an amazing place, though. It's an amazing place. I mean, I think as much as we've bitched about it, we're really, we don't want it to end. It's just getting started.
I was transformed back to the dinosaur age one. I stood there on a rock and watched all the fire. It's during the fire age. Went and burned them up, whatever it did. Everything was on fire and dinosaurs and everything. It's weird. I don't know how real that was, but it's pretty vivid.
Yeah, I remember being in the panhandle of what's Texas about 10,000 years ago, standing on a butte with a friend of mine who I met in this life, and watching a whole herd of mammoths, woolly mammoths.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I remember that very well.
You weren't even a human. You're probably one of the amoebas. No.
Yeah, I could have been an amoeba. Yeah, or paramecium, a protozoa, a virus, or whatever, a bacteria.
I don't know. Is
And
there a reality to that, bro? Is there a reality to that?
like you said, you got to be open to everything. How can I have, yeah, or whatever, whoever the person is, I just use myself, but like, how can I have this telepathic communication with the trees or even mountains or rocks if I
Right.
if they're not a part of me or something? We got to be related somehow. Something's going on. I don't know.
Light.
I'm
Light.
just open. I'm open. That's it. Light.
Light.
There you go.
Light
That's
is
right.
everything. That's our
Yeah.
connection, bro. It's light.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're going to get it together and understand each other completely is understand light.
And I think that light. You said it a minute ago. We've made progress enough to where there's certain things that haven't been showing themselves because we weren't ready.
It's coming
And
out in the light.
and last night, I'm telling you, last night I took a walk, and I'm telling you that there was 3 or 4 or 5 different times beings passed, like on my peripheral. Some had dark shadows, some were light, white, like more of a light white. So, and that's what I was getting. I was like, oh man, it's turning on now. It's turning on. Yeah. I think more people are going to be experiencing this type of stuff.
Well, for sure. And that's the reason I keep telling them, never don't conclude yourself.
Yeah.
I find a lot of competition with what I say because they're concluding themselves. And I keep saying, don't conclude yourself. I won't conclude myself. I understand your personality. I understand my personality. We work together, and our personalities are chosen to be at certain levels of light to help others at that level too. We need to help each other, helping each other to, like I know you're an advanced super being, and I really talking with you because you can understand all this. You understand all this with everybody. That's the reason I think you're going to be our next oversoul. If we need one by then.
Or is everybody their own oversoul? See, I don't
Huh?
know how this. I don't know how any of this works.
Well,
Like,
you got the major oversoul and monad oversoul, and the monad's oversoul. But each planet has its own oversoul. Each planet has its own Christic light of personality. Each planet has its own light source vibrating at their personalities. We have ours. I mean, it's different. This planet has Jesus. That planet might have, I don't know, Helios. I don't know. Helios is actually the representative for the the galaxy. He's the body of the galaxy.
and that's one galaxy, right? I mean, think about all the essences out there.
Well, that might be all galaxies.
Oh, all
Helios,
galaxies.
like Melchizedek is all. I don't know if that's planetary. Is Melchizedek planetary and just for this galaxy, or is he uh, embodied
I
just
don't
this?
know. I don't
That's a
know.
good question. I gotta
Uh,
study
I
that.
don't. I don't know.
I
I don't
think it
know.
might be for humanity.
I remember when I woke up, I was shown the 12, and I remember sitting with the 12 godfathers of the earth, the 13 grandmothers of the earth. I asked where did Christ come from, and they said, poof, he appeared, like in the galaxy, in the you know what I mean, that from somewhere outside of, poof, came from here.
What does Christ mean? It's just the name.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, at the time, that's the way I was understanding. I said,
Right,
where does Jesus
right.
fit in? Because
I played.
Jesus was coming in to my third eye and talking to me. Things were happening, right? And apparitions appearing.
Well,
But
we're all going to receive certain information according to our personality. That's just it. So,
now, when you say personality, is that the personality of the soul? And is it one personality, or are there many personalities of the soul?
we talked about that last time we was here. Um, the from my studies, I always figured there's only one soul in me, but then I figured out I had many lifetimes. So and many aspects of me.
Right.
And then when I heard the term soul family, okay, so my soul family. Not talking about us as a soul family. I'm talking about my soul family.
Hmm.
So the aspects in me that are all scattered through the universe, just me, not yours, but mine. See, when people talk about the soul family, they're talking about their soul family. You can't conclude it to everybody's soul family because everybody has their individuality.
Right.
And the personality that's in this body now, sometimes I wonder this is my second personality in this body. Because I did my ascension back in the 70s, I was doing things I can't do now. So I don't know. It's like I ascended back then, and somebody else took over. Another part aspect of me took over. So, but still has the same memories and everything. But I can't verify that, so don't conclude me in that. Okay,
Well,
but
no,
it's
but I
still
mean
fact.
that's again being open, but that kind of falls in line with the way Franco explained things, because I would always say to him, "Does the human have a soul?" And he'd say, "No, but yes." So what he was saying was is that there's a soul lineage, but there's also a human lineage, and that human memory is tied to that lineage, right? To that human lineage. So you could
Yeah,
have soul aspects popping in, popping out, and yet in that human lineage, there's still the memory of all the lives.
at root, man, there is no soul.
Yeah.
Okay, the soul enters the. Uh, when does the soul actually enter in? It doesn't enter in until the baby's born.
Till the baby's born.
Yeah, it's don't the soul don't live inside the moon. I would soul want to sit in the moon for 9 months doing that, but just growing in the body. What's growing the body is the mother's body. It's it's the root man thing, growing that body.
Mm.
The soul enters the body when it's delivered. When that first cry, that's when the soul enters into the top of the head, soft part of the head. That's when source comes in, soul comes in, and then it comes down here to the heart chakra. That's the seat of the soul right there. You got a star soul 6 inches above the head. That's your star soul. It's connected to source and all other monad and all that. And then you come down here, it enters into here, and it sits there through your physical body life. But the personality is created from the stomach, from the appetite of the world. The personality is started from your environment when you ever since you were in this, and your perception and your senses, and that's what the falling part comes from, is through your senses. That's where everybody started falling, through the senses, and being deceived and deceiving each other, and they start falling into their ego processes through their stomach. And
Mm.
if you read the book of Revelation, it talks all about this, and I don't understand why people can't see it. It talks about the seven churches. It's the seven senses. And right in the beginning, the seven churches, the seven candlesticks, the seven senses, the seven rays, because the third dimension is only seven, according to the third dimension measurement, 3D measurement. A 3D planet is seven rays.
Mm.
4D is 12 rays. So we received our other five rays when the planet became a 12-ray planet in the 80s. 1980s, this planet became a 12-ray planet, fourth dimension. But everybody's tapping into 5D now. They want to measure that. How much of that can they bring in? Well, shoot, man, I'm bringing all that in and more. I'm bringing source light. I'm bringing my singularity heart into my body. I'm bringing my spiritual light into my body, my source light. Boy, you talking about going through some drama. I mean, we're all going through that, right? We're doing that consciously or unconsciously, but we're all going through it, and we're all experiencing.
And what is the seven seals refer to?
Okay, you
Because I notice people are both religious and non-religious. Or I've seen a lot of that mentioned in the last few months.
It still
It,
has
it,
with the senses, your eyes,
the senses. Okay. Okay.
and your
Yeah.
seven seals
Yeah.
of some kind of sealing and going on there. I don't know. I never looked that part of it yet, but I do understand.
I just
You,
wondered. Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, you figure it out, man. To me, it sounds more like it's relating to the sense, to the seven rays senses,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
rays. Uh,
I love that song by Son House, John the Revelator. Wrote the book of the seven seals.
yeah,
It's a Negro spiritual that because he was a minister, he was a Baptist minister and a blues guy.
yeah,
Son House. It's a pretty cool song. John the Revelator. The White Stripes remade it a few years ago.
yeah. Well,
Jack
you
White.
realize, yeah,
Hmm?
you realize that John was in prison,
Yeah.
and he actually has a new book out. It's called a New Book of Revelations. He was channeled, and and I read it
Now,
years ago. And he tells, he's got the old way that's written in the Bible, and he tells what all that means.
now you're
And
talking about the John in the Bible that has the different writing style than everybody else, right? That
the
guy.
book of John, the Revelations,
Right. Okay.
Revelation, he he's the only disciple that wasn't crucified, and he literally died in prison, in Roman prison. And but when he was in there, he was writing these books, these
Hmm.
letters to his fellow Christians,
Yeah.
and and you imagine being in Russian prison, Roman prison, and they're reading everything you're writing. But he read it, he wrote it to be a mystical story, so the Romans would accept it.
Right.
But
That's right.
his fellow Christians knew what he was talking about. And I'm going to show you an example. The first beast is the beast of materialism, worshiping materialism more than your Christ self.
Mm.
If you do that, if you worship materialism, your Christ self, and you're serving the beast, you take on the mark. He made up the number 666. That don't really mean nothing. Don't mean nothing. He just put that in there to throw the Romans off. And then the second beast is the beast of sensual pleasure, because you got to have the money to have the sensual pleasure. So now you're selling out your whole entire system through your personality to your lower chakras, and that's where you live, and you live down there in that gut to the material and sensual pleasures above the Christ consciousness. And that's what Jesus came to open up to us. There was no astral levels till Jesus was crucified. Think about that.
Say it again. There was no astral levels. You mean like no astral plane?
Right? Because if you're, I studied scripture a lot. I mean, I don't conclude it all, but I'm not going to conclude what I'm saying here. I'm just going to tell you what I read.
Right.
And it read that when Jesus went down to the pits of hell, and we had called it hell, Jesus called it the astral groves. Okay, I guess they exist in that level. Okay, but I'll put it this way: there were no heavenly astral levels. Because all the disciples, I mean, all the prophets, all the men then were in that level. They couldn't go to the level of the Christ consciousness through Jesus until Jesus was crucified and resurrected. That's what the resurrection did. It resurrected everybody from that. What that hell represents is man's consciousness at that, or personality at that level. It's really not a place. It's just their consciousness. Heaven and hell is not really a place. It's just even heavens. When people say they go in afterlife and they go to heaven, they're seeing a delusion. If you go in afterlife and you go to your astral level, heaven, everything there is like whatever you want to see. The people you're seeing, if you want to see your mother, she's not really there, but she's there because you see her as you see her. But she's not really there. She's in her own heaven somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And it's heaven and hell is just where you go because that's where you are. If you create heavens, then you create whatever heaven you're creating, whatever level of it, religious heaven, waiting for Jesus to come. Well, you're going to go to that heaven waiting for Jesus to come. You still be waiting for him in your heaven, in your afterlife heaven. You know what I'm saying? I got this from Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone was a dog. He just recently passed away about 7 years ago. But I read one of his books. He talks about every religion. He's a psychiatrist, and he talks about every religion that ever existed, and he compares them all. It's amazing. What he did, his work was amazing. But I really understand that because when one time, when I go into an inner plane of my consciousness, and whatever I'm experiencing mentally, physically, or whatever. Like I told you, I found myself in a black box. And I couldn't get out. It was too huge. And what should I do? Come back and tell everybody I went to hell? I died and went to hell and came back and I was in a black prison and black box? I ain't going to come back and do that, you know? I wanted to find the answer. How am I going to get out of here? And there was windows, and every time I opened up the window, they were black. It's like my brain went in a black box and freaking me out really, really hard. And like I got a video about names, how much power you put in a name. Well, I put a lot of power in that name, Father, and I said Father, and I was out of there.
Yeah.
Because fathers back then, father's the only thing I knew. Jesus talked to the Father. But now I never realized the Father is me. The mother is me.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
But I just
exactly.
We put names on things, and we put power in those names.
Yeah. And then the physical gender creates a challenge because we over-identify with one or the other. So that's another thing we've had to come to terms with. So to hear you say the Father with such power, because I can relate to that. Because for me, when it all started for me, I was father, and then I realized there was a mother, and then obviously as time goes on, you realize it's you're both of those. I am the mother, I am the father, and the golden child.
That's what the masculine and feminine represent is your mother father balance within yourself.
Yeah.
The physical form of it, you have. That's another revelation of that experience. That our soul experiencing in that way, the father and mother. But when you go up even to the source level, you're experiencing it as dominant receptive energy.
Right.
It's a dominant receptive energy. It's thoughts and feelings. You have a thought and you have a feeling. And that's what we do as creator. We have a thought and we have a feeling. And that's what helps me create that galaxy. I'm going to create this galaxy. I'm going to have a thought. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have a feeling. It's like a painter. Somebody's like, it's like a painter. He's painting it, and he's putting all together. He's putting all his thoughts in it, and then he looks at it, and he has no feeling in it. So he whips it all up, starts all over again. You got to have the feeling too,
Good point. Yeah, I try to do that every night. I write music every night, and it's got to have feeling. It's got to have feeling.
It's got to have feeling.
It can't just be pretty words. It has to have a feeling. It has to have a.
You got to put that feeling in for other people to feel it too.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, you can be the worst singer in the world. I mean, I don't sing very good, but I'm going to keep on singing with feeling.
Yeah. Absolutely. Everybody can sing too. That's another thing. All these things we think we can't do. Everybody can sing. Everybody can write. Everybody can dance. Everybody can do those things that the world said we couldn't do. Everybody can publicly speak if they want to. I mean, it's transparency. But what are we hiding? There's nothing left to hide, It's I don't know, we've been chasing our tail for so long, we finally figured it out. And
Well,
I
I
feel like
finally.
we're. Huh? Go ahead.
There you go.
No, I was just saying. I feel like we're walking into a big gala, a big coronation, a big party. Like, imagine everybody walking around the room going, "Holy shit, man, we did it! 1,000 years of peace, or whatever that is." Then we get bored and go back and do it again.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll do one this intense again. That's debatable. But
Well, that's we're here to probe it. We're here to
yeah,
probe it and take
yeah.
it back. We take it back. We'll decide that in the monad when we create a new monad, and we sit there and think, "Well, do we do that again?"
Well,
Do we want to
I
do
would
that
think
again?
yeah, I would think we probably will surpass it again. I would only make sense that we go further the next time and the next time, right? If we want to, but
We've been doing this infinitely. I mean, we're
yeah,
on, like I told you before, we're on cosmic day,
yeah.
and each person is their personality are their own cosmic day, and there's infinite amounts of us as cosmic days. So we always existed as source light. We always existed, and we're just betraying these experiences, right? And
Mm.
we talked earlier. We went too deep.
No, I think we did. I enjoyed it. Yeah, man,
Well,
that went by
you're,
fast.
yeah,
Ooh.
you're enjoying it now. You're starting to enjoy it when you start getting into the light. But you live down your stomach and living out there on the street, starving to death, and can't get nowhere. I mean, you ain't gonna enjoy that. I mean, you ain't. Well, I want to tell you about my daughter too before we quit.
Hmm.
She is a very creative person, and I gave her a little keyboard like that, and she traveled the world with it. She used that keyboard with no money. She first went out to California and came up with these ideas with $60 in her pocket. And then I had to pay her way back. And it got pretty desperate out there in California because California started changing up and things. And but they created her and her boyfriend. I gave her a little keyboard, and she took that little keyboard and his little keyboard, and they traveled all over Europe, up and down Europe with that keyboard. Those little even all the way up to Norway. Norway heard about them in Europe, so Norway got them while they was over there and trying to come up there and play on this island of 70 hippies. The government paid for that for those 70 hippies that lived on that island. And things like that was happening to her. And they're very creative. They're self-employed, and they created have old things. They created art, video art, out of old machines, TV machines and stuff. And well, she called me up. She always hid away because she always had autoimmune system, so she always stayed home. She called me up, said she got COVID, but she never got it very bad. She said, but 6 weeks later, she said her heart started fluttering and she couldn't breathe. So she went and got X-rays, and they found a big ball of fat, size of a volleyball, the doctor said, stuck, lodged in between her ribs and her lung, and it's putting pressure on her lung and compressed it. And they call it something with Moses in it. I forget what they call it. Some kind of fat that people get on. You see fat spots in their body. They said, and the doctor said she inherited it. I don't have any of it. I don't know about it, but in my family, but I don't know if I can believe that. But they had to go in there, break her ribs, go in there, and pull that crap out.
Mm.
And my daughter was beautiful, healthy, and they pulled all that stuff out. Her lungs compressed. It's got to regenerate if it ever does. Well, I'm praying it does. Send her light energy that it does. And she's crippled now, and self-employed, and I got to send her money every month. which I don't mind doing. That's the reason I save my money, actually, is to send to her.
Right.
How much my kids, I got 3 kids, and I know they're going to have tribulations in life. And
Wow.
one of my daughters doing really good. She's all right. My son, we don't talk to each other much, but he he went in that confession mode. He told me things about what he got his life. It just blew my mind.
Been there, done that.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine that that would happen with him. I mean, your children are going to be. It's really heartbreaking to see your child go through something like that.
Yeah.
So I cried and cried and cried.
Yeah. I mean,
Now she's making new art, but her new art is showing. She does art, and the new art is showing uh, pictures, drawings of herself in the hospital, with all the tubes in her, and stuff like that. It's her new artwork. She's kind of a mess.
is she still in the hospital?
No, she's out of the hospital. But here's the thing: is I said she said her blessing was she met a doctor who only took down 900, a surgeon that took $900 down payment. So I gave her the $900
Man.
and money to live on, to pay her rent, and I'm still doing that this month. I don't know what to do if I run out. Since she was self-employed, she never had any insurance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's in that wave in which you can get it.
A whole bunch of us in that one. Man, I hope sending her peace, healing, love, comfort, and light. Definitely. Yeah, it's good talking to you, bro.
Yeah.
It's good talking to you. Maybe the Soul Train will get over to Florida.
I hope it does. And if it does, let me know, because I would like to meet you.
Yeah,
I can't get to Texas, I mean, I just don't have the means.
yeah, I get you.
And I was killed in Texas in my past lifetime. It's kind of spooky to go back there.
Well, maybe we'll get down that way. We're going to definitely do something in November, and it's going to have to be in the South because it's too cold otherwise. So,
I don't know how's Texas in December.
oh, it's nice. Be nice. Be about 63, 65 during December. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got the place for 30 days, like from mid-November till mid-December. So there's already people that are coming in on that Monday. And there's 30 acres, so there'll be people coming in their RVs camping, during the week. So it's going to end up being more than 3 days. But the main 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's the main thing. But we're actually going to be, they'll probably be there, people be there the previous weekend. I think we're going to do some workshops and going to jam a lot. We got a lot of musicians.
30 acres, maybe it's going to turn into another Woodstock.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We're also going to be doing some grid work. A couple of the sisters and a few others have picked up on some stuff that has been going on here, stuff that I was involved with when I woke up and walked the streets here, not even knowing what I was doing. But yeah, there's some stuff that needs to be transformed over here in the Gulf. So that's going to happen. We're going to have a little field trip on Wednesday. Julie Dara Roberts is going to lead that. She's our Soulology cosmologist.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
What's that?
Corpus Christi. Is that where it's at? Where are you at in Corpus?
No. Houston. I'm in Houston.
Where's Houston? Corpus Christi down by the coast.
Corpus Christi would be the same latitude as Tampa, Clearwater. Houston's 3 hours north, but on the Gulf. So it's a little bit different of a climate. They call it the Bayou City, so it's kind of swampy. Bayou, floods, But we're gonna. The festival is in December in Houston, but we have a little mini festival in Corpus on Sunday, a week from today. We're gonna have it. We're gonna stream it too, so it'll be from.
Oh, that's where I got Corpus Thin from.
Yeah, it's come. It's. I just put a post out today. Yeah, we got some people that live there. We got some people coming in from out of town, and I don't know how many we're gonna get. Probably, I don't know. I would think probably 30 people maybe. So these people donated a really nice empty house for us to set up in, and we just got to get some chairs and plug in. Ty's going to be down there, and he's going to plug in, and we'll invite people on the stage, and we'll stream it 4 hours. So
I wish I can be there, bro.
Well, maybe next time, and maybe we come down to Florida. We're gonna go to L.A. in October, Sedona in September. We're going to do 2 shows in Sedona on the 24th and the 30th September, and I'm not sure the date in L.A. I don't know if you saw that show a few weeks ago. This dude was the House of Gong. Did you see that? He's got like 70 what do you call it, like monitors, like the high level stuff, the highest technology, and he does this. He's a virtual artist, or what do you call it? Visual artist, but he plays these gongs. He has one gong that's 7 feet, and another one that was 5 feet. He had 9 gongs. It was pretty trippy. Anyway, we're lining up to go have a little gathering there.
The world, a lot of the world's in such chaos, but at the same time, people got all this crazy things going on.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of interesting things. I mean, it takes a lot of money to do that stuff that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
it just makes me wonder. You know,
Yeah, one of those screens that guy has is $100,000. I don't know where, but the abundance is coming for everybody. That's the truth.
and that's what it's supposed to be about. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to create mine. You got to create it for yourself, and I'm having a hard time.
We'll get there.
I-
We'll all get there. We'll all get there. We do it together.
No matter, I'm wealthy inside spiritually. I guess my riches, really.
Yeah.
I denied a lot of physical wealth, in my life because
Yeah.
I preferred my inner being more than my.
Well, I think we're meant to have it all. Now
Yeah,
that we're ready.
That's what I got. I realized that, but I just, like you said, I've been narcissist for too long, and I don't want to break away from that.
Yeah. No, we got this. That's how this network's set up. The network's set up to where it costs a third to run it. A third goes back into the house, like redevelopment, and a third goes to the content creators. So, a year from now, when there's 10,000 people on this network, we'll have an annual budget of $1.5 million, and 500,000 will go to the content creators. So if somebody's pulling 10% of the viewership, they're going to get $4,000 or $5,000 for the month. If somebody's pulling 2%, they'll get $1,000. And it's
Almost like
transparent.
a stock market, huh?
No, we're going to make it transparent. It's all based on gifting. The IRS can kiss my
Yeah.
ass. The IRS
just-
can. Yeah, I mean, this is all based on gifting. Everybody gifts, and we'll challenge whatever's left of the governmental infrastructure that's not been collapsed or transformed. We're going to help transform it. We're gonna change it all of us.
I think it's amazing things you're doing, Todd. I mean, I'm gonna call you King Todd or Prince Todd or
Prince Todd.
Soul Master.
Oh no, I'm just.
You like Prince Todd?
No. No, Todd's fine, or Medina. Medina's all right. Hey, brother, it was good seeing you, man. Let's do it again. We'll play some music. We have to, if you want to jam with us one Monday. We do those on social media though. Mondays.
How you do it? In the good. If I have hooked my guitar in.
Do you have an interface? Do you have an interface that you plug your guitar into? I don't have one handy.
I haven't hooked it up in a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll play with
What,
it.
can it go through the microphone?
You could. I don't know what it would sound like. But probably the best thing to do would be to have like a Focusrite interface, and you plug in your mic to one, and you plug in your guitar to the other, and the guitar sound will go.
I got an 8-track interfaces. I got a couple of them.
Yeah.
I had a studio going at one time. They just
Well, keep your eye out for our Monday nights. It's Monday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern every Monday night, and because we invite people, like people to supply their words, or if they want to pop in the studio and you know do some melody or rap or instrument, whatever they want to do.
my psychedelic music would fit in or not.
Man, everything fits in. It's just a big melting pot.
Got grunge in that slide.
You played the slide?
Yeah, I play the slide. I play distortion music, man.
I know. I've heard it. I like it. It's cool. Hey, Ty will love it. Ty loves distortion, man. He says you only have resolution through tension. And if you listen to his music, he takes you all over the place with it. All right, man. I will.
What kind of beatbox does he have?
Oh man, I don't know. He's like. Who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Garth Hudson from the band. That multi-instrumental. Like, he just, he makes it so easy, because he's just amazing. He's just absolutely
My
amazing.
son's like that.
Yeah, man, it was good seeing you. Keep an eye out for Monday nights, and I appreciate your love and support, man, and healing, peace, love, and comfort to your daughter, and all blessings to you and all your family. And I hope to see you in Florida, bro.
Yeah, I don't see none of my friends on there.
Well, they're probably on there. It's on all the Facebook platforms and the YouTube. All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right.